Welcome back to another CM reaction video. Today we are going to be talking about Man United's downfall. Now, I think I know more about this now because I'm from near Manchester. I've been living up here for the past 18 years. I was adopted and brought up here when I was 4. Man United and City have always been near me. I think I'm like 20 minutes away from the stadium on a good day when there's no traffic. But yeah, Man United, bro, they suck ass. They might be the worst football team in 2025, to be all seriousness, because back in 2008, 2013, 2010, those seasons were crazy for Man United. They were winning everything. Now Man City has overtaken them over the last couple of years, and I think Man United are never going to be the same.
Manchester United were unstoppable under the guise of Sir Alex Ferguson, clinching a staggering 13 titles in 21 Premier League seasons. But as
Sponsor
the
of the
saying
video
goes,
today,
all good things
Fanta.
must come to an end. And as Sir Alex concluded his legendary tenure by guiding United to their 20th league title in 2013, little did fans know that his retirement would mark the start of a turbulent era for the club. Since 2013,
Yeah. Well, I know this takes drastic down from 2013, but this is going to be bad.
United have spent £14 million to hire and fire 5 permanent managers, but have had zero.
How much money? How much money? That could be the problem. Alright, that's pretty bad.
Premier League or Champions League trophies to show for their staggering investments, which includes another £1.43 billion on transfers, all while running up a debt.
Did did anybody just see that number? Wait. So first you've got that, yeah? And you're like, yeah, nothing can get bigger than that. Wait until you see this.
And fire 5 permanent managers, but have had zero
5, by the
Premier
way.
League or
5.
Champions League trophies to show for their staggering investments, which includes another £1.43 billion on transfers, all while.
And I thought the other number was big. Wait, guys. We've got to pause in the actual number.
And fire 5
Wait.
permanent managers, but have had zero Premier League or Champions League trophies to show for their staggering investments, which includes another £1.43 billion.
This number right here, right? Why would the fuck would you spend that much money? Imagine what a charity could do with that money, bro. This shit's crazy. How much money? Wait, this is crazy.
On transfers, all while running up a debt of nearly £1 billion. They have finished outside the top 4 on 5 occasions and lost as many league home games as they did during Ferguson's entire 26-year reign.
Oh my
The
god.
Leeds club has never looked
Oh my god. Those stats are crazy.
more clueless than the present-day United.
Oh
This
my
is the
god.
tale of Manchester United's decade of managerial failure.
David Moyes from July the 1st will become the new manager of Manchester United, recommended to the Manchester United board by Sir Alex Ferguson.
This image of David Moyes sitting in Sir Alex's former office would
No.
become the meme that summed up his short-lived tenure at Old Trafford,
Crazy.
accompanied by the caption, "I have no idea what I'm doing." Despite being endorsed by Sir Alex himself, Moyes, known for his pragmatic style of play at Everton, struggled to meet the lofty expectations at United. He managed only one league win against a top 6 team. In away games at Old Trafford, both City and Liverpool scored 3 goals and kept a clean sheet.
Oh my
West
god.
Brom and Everton scored their first.
Oh my god, you know it's bad when even Everton are scoring against you.
First
Crazy.
victories there in 35 and 21 years, respectively. The once revered Theatre of Dreams had turned into a house of horrors for the home team. Moyes soon lost the confidence of his players, and United
Yep.
subsequently ended the season without European football for the first time since 1980. Perhaps things would have been different
Since 1980. That stat is crazy. That means that's like 20 years crazy.
if Moyes had been luckier in the League Cup, where United lost in the semi-finals to Sunderland on penalties, or if they had beaten Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarter-final.
Oh
His
my god.
departure, just 50 games into a 6-year contract, would mark a new era for the club characterized by reactive leadership.
Crazy.
The club's trajectory may have taken a completely different path had its then chief executive, Ed Woodward, succeeded in luring Jurgen Klopp from Borussia Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
But Klopp wasn't convinced and ultimately opted to join their rivals Liverpool. Veteran Louis van Gaal was selected as the next best option.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Moyes, who had been too green, Van Gaal had experience spanning several decades, and it was hoped that the club's stature wouldn't overwhelm him, especially considering his charismatic nature.
A lot
Damn.
of times I use the word horny to my players.
However much he disliked the commercial machine that was United, it allowed him to
That's
spend
crazy.
£282 million over 2 years, which,
That's a little bit too much money, mate.
accounting for inflation in the transfer market, would equate to over £400 million in today's terms. But despite that investment, Van Gaal's team played a dull, sideways-oriented style of football. He attributes this to not being able to get the players he wanted, but his approach resembled that of a former PE teacher, stifling players' creativity and imposing his
Oh
rigid philosophy.
my
Van
god.
Gaal managed to outlast Moyes by securing Champions League qualification in his first season, but he wasn't immune to embarrassments similar to those his predecessor endured. The 4-0 defeat against League One side MK Dons stands out as one of the lowest points for United in the post-Ferguson era. In his
Damn.
second summer at the club, Van Gaal faced a mass exodus of players who had become discontent with his methods. Ed Woodward also faced embarrassment after boasting about the marquee signing of Bastian Schweinsteiger. However, the German was past his prime and started only 13 league matches during his underwhelming 2-year tenure at the club. Van Gaal's position became strained in his second season, as Woodward and the Glazers allowed rumors about his future to swirl.
Crazy.
As United's form declined, Jose Mourinho
Yeah, the form is declining massively. Just like your hairline is. Oh, I should have said that.
Mourinho's availability became the elephant in the room. The enduring legacy of Van Gaal remains the emergence of Marcus Rashford. Despite being thrust into the spotlight during an injury crisis at the club, the 18-year-old's back-to-back brace of goals gave him a
Yeah,
fairy
he's
tale
good. He's good.
introduction
He's
to
good.
professional
Yeah.
football. And the team quickly became United's new hope, with club record
Rashford
scorer
is
Wayne Rooney
nice,
on the
bro.
way out.
Rashford was
Winning
nice.
the FA Cup was not enough to save Van Gaal, though, and on the very same
Yeah.
day the team celebrated at Wembley, Woodward dismissed him, believing that his pragmatism wasn't the right formula for United.
Crazy.
Money was now worth more than trophies, and the commercial beast Van Gaal feared had chewed him up and spat him back out.
Alleen Manchester United is een commerciële club.
The hiring
Part
of
3.
Mourinho by United was largely in response to City's signing of Pep Guardiola. While there were doubts about Mourinho's suitability for the club, he silenced
yeah.
his critics by winning 3 trophies in his first season: the Community Shield, League Cup, and Europa League, on top
Damn.
of Champions League qualification for the following season. During their Europa League title celebration, he even told his players to show 3 fingers to remind everyone just how many trophies they'd won. This was vintage Jose.
My team was the worst team in the world, where I felt sometimes that I was the worst manager in the world. We managed to win 3 trophies.
There's no denying that he's a
He
serious
managed
winner.
to win 3
Throughout
trophies.
his time at United, he faced the
That's
challenge of
bars.
matching his playing style with results.
Bars.
United
I
finished
thought I was the
second
worst
in the
manager in
following
the world,
season.
but we managed
Despite
to win
ending up
3
90 points
trophies.
behind City,
That's a
Mourinho
bar.
still calls this achievement one of the greatest in his career. The Portuguese's us against them approach had a shelf life, though, and he gradually
Crazy.
alienated himself from the dressing room and boardroom with his unpredictable behavior. He ranted for
Yeah.
more than 12 minutes defending his record after being criticized for getting knocked out of the Champions League by Sevilla in the last 16. In the aftermath, he addressed
Damn.
his players, urging them to mature as he explained that the club's early exit should not have come as a surprise given their recent track record in the competition. This, as Mourinho explained, was football heritage.
Hmm.
Behind the scenes, Mourinho and Woodward's working relationship deteriorated.
Crazy.
Disagreements arose, such as the decision to sign Victor Lindelof instead of Virgil van Dijk as a cost-cutting measure. They also clashed over Anthony Martial's future in Mourinho's final summer at the club. Contradictorily, Woodward had no issues when approving a £500,000 per week contract for Alexis Sanchez, whose best performance at United came on the piano. Mourinho's
Crazy
popularity
came
finally
on the
hit rock
piano.
bottom when his feud with Pogba went
Hmm.
public. The pair were captured in a tense exchange during training, arguing about an Instagram post, and the would-be heroes had turned into soap opera villains. The 3-1 away defeat against Liverpool was the final blow for Mourinho, leading to his sacking at a cost of £14 million and leaving behind a shroud of toxicity within the club.
£40 million to sack a manager. Crazy. Let me become a football manager and just get sacked, bro.
That night in
Fuck
Paris was the
me.
clincher for Ole Gunnar
I'd be getting
Solskjaer to
paid
become permanent
dough.
manager for United.
Come on.
Against all odds, his injury-plagued side had become the first to overturn a 2-0 first-leg home
If
defeat
you ever
in
want
the
a job,
Champions
become
League,
a football
reminiscent
manager
of the
and then
glory
just get
days under
sacked
Sir
from a
Alex.
big job and you get
Following
40
that
million.
game, he experienced an incredibly
Crazy.
successful run as caretaker manager, winning 14 out of 17 games. The nostalgia and rediscovery of
I'm a
United's
different level,
traditions,
I'm a different
coupled with the
beast.
monumental
Coming through
victory
like
in
a
Europe,
wavy
led
weed.
some to believe
What the
that he
fuck?
was the reincarnation of Sir Alex. But
No, he
United's
wasn't.
honeymoon phase eventually came to an end as they struggled to maintain their winning momentum, suffering 8 defeats in their final 12 games and ultimately finishing 6th in the league. Despite this downturn, Solskjaer was still given the United job permanently. In hindsight, the Norwegian outperformed his CV, though his lack of credentials would soon catch up with him. While his legendary status afforded him patience when results were poor, his tactical approach lacked structure, even if his team's attacking flair was reminiscent of United's glory days. To his credit, Solskjaer was the club's first manager in ages to establish a clear strategy in the transfer market, as he sought to create a counter-attacking team with a core of young English players. Large sums paid for Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka turned out to be expensive mistakes, but the signing of Bruno Fernandes was a revelation, arguably their best signing in the last 10 years. As poor results fueled
Crazy.
frustrations among supporters, their focus turned towards the Glazer family, with the deteriorating state of Old Trafford symbolizing the neglect of the club. Their involvement in the failed European Super League
Oh,
further
yeah.
intensified fan discontent, with even Ed Woodward stepping down from his position after disagreeing with the
Crazy.
Glazers' plan. Solskjaer, despite bringing some stability to the club, eventually became referred to as the nearly man for failing to win any major trophies. He fell short in 4 semi-finals and 1 final, and while his team qualified for the Champions League in every full season, they never progressed past the group stages.
Damn.
The opportunity to sign a 36-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo arose a few months later. The temptation of commercial revenue and social media clicks was too much for the Glazers to turn down. The emotion of his return to the club that brought him to the spotlight was all-consuming. Much like with Solskjaer's appointment, nostalgia ruled the day, and United became lost in tales of yesterday, as Ronaldo's playing style meant the manager had to rethink his whole approach. The present reality became ugly as thrashings by Liverpool and Watford, yes, Watford, saw off Solskjaer, but
Watford
eventually
just beat
lost control of
Ronaldo.
the wheel.
Crazy. That's a car crash. Lovely.
Always wanted to become a great singer? Hey, I'm Jada Facer, and I'm a
I'm
popular
already a
singer
great
on
singer.
Instagram.
Don't talk to me, love. Yeah, my shit's better.
Of Solskjaer, who had eventually lost control of the wheel.
Oh,
Erik ten Hag took charge of United after the club's worst season in the Premier League era, following the disastrous Ralf Rangnick experiment.
damn.
Rangnick's short-lived tenure exposed the inadequacies of United's structure and the significant challenges that lay ahead for ten
Talk
Hag.
to him.
However, by swiftly dealing with Ronaldo's departure, making astute signings, and revitalizing underperforming players like Rashford, the Dutchman has managed to rise to the challenge. While setbacks, including a devastating 7-0 loss at Anfield, have occurred, United have consistently responded. The 2-0 victory over Newcastle in the Carabao Cup ended the club's 6-year trophy drought, and again, there was an unfamiliar sense of something special brewing at United. However, Old Trafford still harbors lingering uncertainty beyond the manager's control. Ten Hag knows that winning the Carabao Cup alone isn't enough, and if that proves to be the extent of his success, he too may be left behind. He seemingly had United back on an upward trajectory last season, but he has encountered difficulties in this campaign. The team's last place finish in their Champions League group and their current position outside the European qualification places are causes for concern. Today's United find themselves deeply mired in futility,
Yes, they're
enduring the
doing
worst
dog
start
shit.
to a season in over 30 years, while also grappling with many off-field issues. There is a glimmer of hope, though, as Sir Jim Ratcliffe has recently acquired a 25% stake in the club, providing sporting control and a $300 million investment. While not the complete buyout many fans desired, this deal should inject fresh impetus into the club's long-term strategy and mark the first outside investment under the Glazers. Sustaining the
dog
success
piss.
of Ferguson was always going to be tough, but few people predicted United's drop-off to be just as dramatic as it has turned out. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more
They
football
were so
news,
dog shit.
stories,
Man
and
United,
insights.
you
Also, don't
suck.
forget to turn on notifications
Anyway, thanks
so
for
you don't miss a
watching.
beat.
GG's
Till then,
and bye.
we'll see you